What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 build video. Now shout out to the DoD Disciples of Doom. And in today's build video, I'm going to show you how to basically solo the hunters. I mean, obviously you can use this build in any PvE activity, but more importantly, this is what I'm using to solo the hunters, particularly and specifically in Countdown. Now, I'm going to show you some gameplay. I'm going to explain exactly how I use the build. That way, not only do you get to see it, but I'm also going to explain my playstyle and how I am doing this, because you can kill all 4 hunters in Countdown immediately without losing any armor. It's pretty damn legit. So sit back, relax, grab that popcorn. Don't forget to hit that like. Support the channel by subscribing. We're about to hit 42,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for the ongoing support, but this is only the beginning. And then make sure you ring that notification bell for daily Division content. But all right. Lastly, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of the build, and let's jump into it. So we're going to go straight into some gameplay clips. Now, this is on Xbox, so if you have yet to, follow me on Xbox, do so, and you'll see all of these clips before I even show you on YouTube. But okay, so here we go. Solo Countdown.
We need to get control of the experimental reactor.
All right. Now, I already know that the first hunter is going to be on the other side of this reactor building. Now, I'm using the scanner pulse and the riot foam. So I'm going to scan the hunter around the corner before he can disorient me. And I'm going to riot foam him because now I know exactly where the hunter is. And then do that, use the ACS-12 or the rock and roll shotgun to build your stacks. You can riot foam him again, and once you get full stacks, just headshot with the Scorpio. Doing so, you're going to get the hunter to stay in place in 2 different ways, and then you're able to solo them yourself. And then don't forget a little celebration at the end. All right. So you saw that. That is the first hunter engagement. Now, there are 4 hunters in total, so here's your other clip right here. Now, for the second and third hunter, I was only able to use the Scorpio. Because I was already at max stacks, I did not need to use my secondary weapon, and I also did not have my riot foam back in time due to the really, really slow cooldown. So for this one, I just got my riot foam back, but then watch. It went right through the grass. It's gone. So I had to use my Scorpio to take him down. No big deal. I was just kind of bummed that that riot foam went through the ground. It was kind of crazy. But there's hunter number 2 and number 3. And then here's going to be your last hunter. Now, I am losing some of my Heartbreaker stacks. So I'm going to use the ACS-12. So riot foam, ACS-12 or rock and roll shotgun. Get your stacks up again, and then switch back to your Scorpio. Pretty simple. And then you can see they do a little stagger. They get shocked. Just face tank them. Game over. Look at that. All hunters soloed with ease. But all right. So let's get back here. So now that you have seen how I use the build to solo the hunters, and I've already explained how, my play style is and my thought process. You foam them, ACS-12 or rock and roll, build up your stacks. You can foam them again, get your stacks up to max, switch over to your Scorpio, headshots. You'll be able to stagger them in 2 different areas, reload again, headshot, and then they will be dead. It works every time. The only thing that could mess you up is, say you run out a hunter and you didn't reload yet, maybe, and you don't have any riot foam, and then you're just sitting there reloading your weapon. I mean, that's the only situation where the hunter might be able to damage you. But if you're running up there with a full clip of Scorpio or riot foam and Scorpio, they're not going to go anywhere, especially if you have max stacks from your gear set. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. You're not going to die, and you're just going to kill them, get the free loot, and get out of there. But okay, let's start with the build breakdown. Now, you can already guess the gear set that I'm using. and you already know the weapon combination. But let's explain the other inner workings of the build. So let's start with the specialization. So come over here to the quartermaster. And the specialization I am using for this build is the survivalist specialization. Now, the reason being is this passive talent right here, elite defense. So elite defense gives you 10% protection from elites. And then don't forget to spec into shotgun right there. So spec into shotgun and you have protection from elites. Now, Countdown consists of mainly elite enemies. It's like a 95 to 100% chance they're all elites. There's a very, small percent where you could get a purple or two, but that's it. The rest are going to be elites. It's pretty consistent. So that's why I'm using the specialization, the survivalist. Now, looking at the weapons, you already know the first two weapons, and they're not really interchangeable. The reason I'm using the rock and roll, and you can use either this or the ACS-12 shotgun, is because the rate of fire on this shotgun is so damn high, and each pellet of the shotgun works as a stack towards your Heartbreaker. So you're able to get max 100 stacks of Heartbreaker in less than 30 rounds from your shotgun. So it's just boom, 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 your max, good to go. And then you can switch over to your Scorpio and finish them off. So that's why your secondary weapon needs to either be an ACS-12 or a rock and roll. It's the fastest way by far to get your stacks up quick. That way you can just use your primary weapon, which is the Scorpio. This is still one of the best PvE weapons in the game, and it's because of that talent Septic Shock. So Septic Shock, every time you shoot an enemy, you get a stack of Venom, and each stack gives a different debuff. So the first one, poison, pretty simple. The third one, disorient. Now that's the first staggering effect. That's where you shoot them 3 times and then they do this like, and then like they get down to a knee, they act all weird, and then they snap out of it and start shooting you again. Now, while they are doing that, you shoot them another 3 times, and once you hit them 6 times total, you will shock them, and then that's where they're just sitting there in place, and they stand up straight. Now, that is perfect for headshots. So as soon as you shock them, you reload your weapon, and then that next shot is going to activate that extra damage. So the 7th shot on target, it takes additional 20% damage from all sources. Pretty damn cool. So you can stagger them in 2 different ways with this weapon, and it's a shotgun, so you're doing a crap ton of damage. Now, using this with the Heartbreaker gear set, you're getting a lot of damage output with really no disadvantage, no repercussion. You're also getting bonus armor, so your survivability is way up, and we also have protection from elites, which helps you even more in Countdown. Speaking of which, let's look at that really quick, because I already showed you from the specialization, you get 10%, but on the build, I have 70% total. So I have 5 mods on this build, and then the 10% remaining is from that specialization. So going back to the build, now you know why I'm using the primary 2 weapons. Now the sidearm is the only thing that's interchangeable. You can change this one to whatever it is you want. I'm using the Orbit just because I'm trying to become proficient in it. No real reason. But the secondary does need to be either an ACS-12 or a rock and roll shotgun. And then, of course, your primary needs to be that Scorpio so you can stagger the hunter those 2 different times and get that kill. Now, looking at the build itself, 4-piece Heartbreaker. Pretty self-explanatory. It not only increases your damage, but it also increases your survivability with all of that bonus armor. Now, the cool thing is I'm running the chest piece, so my stacks of Heartstopper go from 50 to 100. So now I get 100 stacks towards either my damage or my bonus armor. And then the cooler part is using the backpack. It helps you gain the bonus armor stacks twice as fast. So it increases your total armor gained per stack from 1% to 2. So every time I'm shooting them, I might be only getting like 1 or 2 stacks, but that's 2 or 4 stacks of bonus armor because I'm doubling the amount of bonus armor I'm getting. So I get that bonus armor quick, And then I get that damage up, switch over to the Scorpio, and it's game over. Okay, now doing a deep dive into this build, starting with the mask, the Chill Out mask. Now, technically, a disclaimer, right now the Chill Out mask is bugged. Okay, there is no brand set bonus on the mask right now. I don't think I have another. Yeah, I don't. Okay. So the Chill Out mask, it doesn't even show the Heligard brand set bonuses. I was going to show you a different Heligard mask, but it's in my stash. So as of right now, you can see it only has that core attribute at the top, and it's not showing any brand set bonuses because it doesn't have any brand set bonuses. I'm sure they will fix this later, and once they do, you'll get 5% total armor on top of this build. So this build is really lethal and amazing right now, but once they fix this mask, you'll get even more armor. Now, looking at the mask itself, this is the Chill Out mask. It is the named Heligard mask with that extra mod slot. Now, it does take away one of the normal attributes, but in this case, you're able to spec into different things that you normally wouldn't be able to with a normal mask. For example, right here with the protection from elites, I'm able to double down and use 2 mods, and then I'm good to go. Now, for the attributes, I used max armor and headshot damage. Now, headshot damage on the Heartbreaker is really strong, especially to get them pulsed, get all that extra armor and extra damage. So why not spec into it? Because you're going to be shooting them in the head either way. Next up, the Improvised holster. Now, the Improvised holster you can actually craft. Now, the mask, you can't get the mask anymore. This mask is from the holiday event from this previous Christmas event, the holiday event. You cannot get this mask right now, so if you are brand new to the game, you're not going to be able to use this mask. Instead, you could use a Heartbreaker mask and use a protection from elites, and then just use improvised knee pads or improvised gloves to get that other mod. But for right now, you're only able to use the Chill Out mask or improvised in its place, because what you need is you need 5 of those mods to be able to hit that 70%. So let me see, maybe I can show you an example. So say I put the Heartbreaker there, and then I would switch the knee pads, boom, improvised. So then boom, I would be able to put protection from elites on the mask and on the knee pads, and then that would give me the exact same results as that Chill Out mask. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. Let's go back to the build. Load out. Okay. So we have talked about the mask. Let's talk about the holster. So the holster is the Improvised holster. Now this one is crit chance, crit damage. I would like to see crit chance and headshot damage, but improvised is really hard to come by. Now the reason for that, and I'll show you, is you have to craft it. So come over here to the crafting table and go down to holsters. You can skip down, boom, 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 right above the exotics. You can see right here, Improvised holster. Now you can do this for the holster, knee pads, and gloves. And when you craft them, you're able to put a mod, or it comes with a mod slot. All right, let me fix that. There we go. And so for this holster, I have max weapon damage, max crit damage, and then 5.1 crit chance with a 12% protection from elites mod. And then this leaves us to the Heartbreaker. So let's jump into it. Starting with the backpack, Heartbreaker. So the Heartbreaker gear set bonuses I get from this build. 2 pieces give me 15% AR and LMG damage. 3 pieces gives me 15% weapon handling, and the 4 piece gives me the Heart Stopper talent. Headshots will apply a pulse, therefore spec into headshots if you want. And weapon hits on pulsed enemies will grant you bonus armor and damage to those pulsed enemies. Now, the stacks are now at 100 because we're running the chest piece, and it says that 2 stacks will be lost each second. So technically, I have this buff up for just under a minute if I get it to max and then just run around and not shoot anything, because you only lose 2 stacks per second. Okay, now looking at the attributes, I have max weapon damage and headshot damage with a protection from elites mod. Now remember, the talent that comes with this backpack is called cold, so I do get 2% bonus armor for every single stack. So that's how you're getting that bonus armor up so fast with the ACS 12 or rock and roll shotgun. Now the chest piece, max armor, max headshot with protection from elites mod. And then remember, this comes with that talent, max BPM. That's what gets you up to the 100 stacks. Going to the gloves, max armor, max headshot. And then to the knee pads, max weapon damage and then max headshot damage. And there you go. That is the build. So it's a protection from elites heartbreaker build. Now you can run it with 2 improvised, or you can run it with chill out and improvised. It really doesn't matter. It's up to you. But I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to, make sure you hit that like if you found this helpful. Now looking at the 2 skills, like I was saying, scanner pulse. That way you can see them around the corners. You can see where they're at. Get ready for your riot foam, which again, if you go to your riot foam, make sure that you have this mod right here active, the +1 ammo. That gives you the 2 ammo for your riot foam, and you're going to need that for the hunters because they get out of that foam fairly quick. And let's finish up with the stats. So this is on the Scorpio. So 839k weapon damage, 25 crit chance, 67 crit damage, and then 115 headshot damage. Don't forget about the armor damage that comes with it. Now going to the offensive tab, we have 56% all weapon damage bonus and 30% shotgun damage bonus. So every time I use the Scorpio or the rock and roll, I'm starting out at 86% damage bonus total. Now going to the defensive tab, I am at 1.3 million armor, 337k health, with that 70% protection from elites, and then 10% explosive and hazard, but that is due to my watch level. So, like I do in every one of my build videos, here is my disclaimer. I am watch level 3164. That means all of these attribute boxes are maxed out 50 of 50. So if you are at or above shade level 1000, all of your attribute boxes should be maxed out just like mine. Therefore, you can copy and paste my build and get the exact same numbers and results. However, if you are below shade level 1000, don't freak out. It's still a great build to use. However, some of these boxes are not going to be maxed out. Therefore, when you copy and paste my build, some of your numbers might be lower. It's okay. Again, don't freak out. It's still a really, really strong build. And of course, the shade level 1000, it's just to min-max your character. That way all of these boxes are maxed out. It just gives you the most out of your build. You don't have to be, it's not a requirement, it's just a recommendation. If you want to get the most out of your build, just reach shade level 1000 and you're good to go. But all right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the build. This is my solo the hunters and survive, or solo the hunters and win build. It is a Scorpio Heartbreaker protection from elites build. I hope you've enjoyed it. You can use this in any PvE content you want, and it's going to be a lot of fun, I promise. I want you to try this build now. But all right, I am Kamikazevondoom, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone. Peace.